Hey guys, welcome to our afternoon analysis session. So looking at the US session, let's start off with the dollar index. And as I said, I'll be doing this repeatedly because this is the main aspect that we're looking at when it comes to price action. Hey guys, welcome to our afternoon analysis session. So looking at the US session, let's start off with the dollar index. And as I said, I'll be doing this repeatedly because this is the main aspect that we're looking at when it comes to price action. So, kicking off with where we are in terms of looking at the price action of the dollar index, see that this unfulfilled deficiency that we were talking about here, the price of the wick filled it, and we've had this short happen. Now, the price is kind of hanging around, but we still have one more leg of shorting to go. And we could get this near the end of the week. I mean, if we take a look at the news, if I bring up FX Street for you guys quickly, for you to see. So with FX Street here, if we look at what we've got going on, this Thursday coming, I'll go through Wednesday quickly first, but if we go through Wednesday, there isn't any news that can cause any major effect on the price. I mean, we do have medium impact news, but unless these figures are massively different, I don't expect them to really cause the dollar to move much. On Thursday, however, we do have the GDP for the US, which is a very big figure and an important figure. And this may actually be the trigger that will cause the price to give us this reaction we're looking at, which is going to be a bearish result, which is what we need. Now, if this number comes out worse than expected, then that would be a great trigger on Thursday. Into Friday, we have pound news, which is not really related to the dollar. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, we have Europe news. Now, just to make sure it's not cut off, because let's just make sure. If I press this week, let's just make sure. Because it seems to cut off at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure there might be afternoon news. Yeah, so Friday in the afternoon, nothing really of a high impact news, and that's it. So from that point on, Thursday is really the day where we could see some sort of reaction that can give us what we're looking for. Okay, now of course it's been a slow week, and naturally it would be because a lot of pips have dished around, even though we have had charts move. Now USD CHF, again, I'm still standing by my opinion. I know the price is in some of the lowest points it's been at, and is basically at the entry point, but I still stand by the analysis I gave you guys, which is this. Take this over here. I don't buy the long just yet until the price fills this area here. Now, of course, it's becoming increasingly difficult, and to be fair, if you were able to catch an entry here with your stop loss beneath, then it's not really going to be much of a problem. You'll just kind of be ranging between 105 pips and about 80 pips, but I still expect the price to give us a short. Now, at the moment, it's operating from this major area of demand here. That's become a supply zone. As of recent today, the price in this London session has taken the high of USD CHF. So as a result of, that movement here, we've had a break of market structure of bullish activity, and the price is pulling back to the supply zone, which may actually be a great trade for a short. Now, if the price actually does go short, it will be great to see if the price can give us something like this. Okay, USD CHF has been ranging a lot, and my belief on this ranging really and truly is because the price hasn't actually gone into the area of demand on the H4 that we're talking about, which is beneath here. Once the price gets beneath here, then we should be looking for the long. Okay, so USD CHF price is pulling back to the supply zone. If it does give a short, stop loss above the high somewhere, and then basically is a 1 to 10 risk to reward trade, which is not bad. Okay, now the next pair I'm looking at is AUD USD, which again, as you can see from the analysis of the range that we're looking at, the price is really hanging around. I would say this demand zone range hasn't really been able to break apart from it at all, upwards or downwards. It's just kind of stuck in the same place. Now, I was expecting one more breakup, but it seems like the Australian dollar is a lot weaker in terms of comparisons with other tier one economies. So AUD USD, if I go to the daily time frame, you can see that the price is really in a range. We've had this strong bearish movement, and the price has really struggled to, it took one day to produce 180 pips, and it's taken, if I drag to the right here, about 11 days to reach at around 180 pips, just a bit more than that. So you can see how strong the bearish side of the market is. So to me, maybe AUD USD may not push past this area in blue and may just stick around this area. So the best thing to do in a situation like this would be just to look for what signature can take us short. Now, at the moment, the price has gone for the weekly high last week. So last week, the previous week's high was taken. This previous week's high took the previous week's high before that. Okay. And so far, AUD/USD has just really been hanging around in this H4 supply zone. There hasn't been much range this week, even though there has been AUD news. Nothing much has happened. Top to bottom for the week so far is 80 pips, which it's not bad, but nothing really substantial. And in that regards, I do think that we definitely are going to see a strong bearish reaction. Now, if the price manages to close above here, then yeah, maybe we'll be in business for one more long. But at the moment, judging by just the sheer speed of which is taken for the bearish side of 108 pips to come into the market compared to the bullish side, 1 versus 11 days is very strongly pointing towards a bearish market. So for now, I still want to map my entries for, the intraday, intra-month longs based on the dollar index. And at the moment, when the dollar index hasn't taken this low, I'm not interested in really taking any major swing trades. I will take scalps maybe, but I'm not interested in the major swing trades. For me, I want to see the price take this low. And since the unfulfilled efficiency at the top here is filled out, and if you've been looking at the markings here, maybe if I do this, I have to zoom in a little bit. 1 second. If I zoom in and drag this down, let's see, here we go. This is the H4 demand zone in question. The reason why I'm so poignant about waiting for the price to come beneath the low is because we've had no return to demand. The price came very close to this H4 demand zone, but didn't return into it, but gave us a very strong bullish move, which is a fake out to me. And evidence can be seen of that because of things like pound USD and Euro USD, which I was in, and I wish I didn't close. Also things like USD CAD, which looked like it was on its way for a long, but has descended short even further. I mean, stuff like USD CAD, the obviousness of there will be a long. If I go across here, you can see almost every chart or every good Forex broker should be showing this liquidity gap here that has been here. And you can see that AUD CAD, we had this reaction, but it wasn't able to break past here. So the market's really teasing at everyone and taking its time before it makes the major move. I do think the major move, looking at the way price is, will probably happen in April. But, tomorrow may change things with the 12:30 UK time news. But the price action, as you can see here, is still lackadaisical. On the other side of the story, back to the analysis that I was discussing in the group, guys. So I'm focusing more on Discord for technical analysis, and for algorithmic technology and code that I write, I'm focusing more on the LinkedIn group. I may try to have a channel on Discord, so I just keep everything on one channel. Depends on you guys really and what you prefer. But ideally, what I want to do is to make sure that I just separate the concerns so that everyone can enjoy and take benefit of what they need. Now, coming back to gold again, the structure of where we are is of price structure in a sense is quite a sensitive place. At the moment, we've had the induction of the previous year. So 2022's high. So when Ukraine came out, we had a massive, spike in price. then we had a break of market structure, and then we have this monthly supply zone here that price returned to. And ideally, what we wanted to see is, and what I said in the group is that we want to see, and what we're waiting for, is for price to confirm that it wants to go short. Now, at the moment, the current price, or the current price of this candle, which will represent the close wherever it happens on Friday, because Friday is the last day of the month. So since that's the last day of the month, we'll have a new candle next week, or Sunday evening for us in the UK, 10 p.m. Now, if the body of the candle does close above this high, to be more specific, and I'm just going to draw this line, I'm going to extend it a little bit. So if the body of this monthly candle closes above this high, then we may be in a position where we might have a continuation long, and potentially gold may attempt to make a new high, which the current high is about $2,076 approximately. In the next 2 days, even though the volatility this week hasn't been that high, if price can at least close at the edge of the zone with the body of the candle staying within here, then we're back in business for a short. Now, there is an obvious short that's going to happen, but the entry dynamics of how the short is going to happen is really dependent upon, what price is going to do. If I go to the daily time frame, you can see we still are in supply on the daily until 2050. So it's not the end of the world, but it's just that with a monthly close above here, it might put us in a position where we may have it extended a bit longer. Okay. On the other side of the story here, as I put the markings out in the group, if I superimpose the monthly supply zone, which is this blue area here, onto the daily time frame, this is the monthly supply zone range. So to make more sense of what I'm saying, what we need price to do in essence before Friday or by Friday evening is for it to return back anywhere within this range. If we can have a short that gets back into this range at any point, then we're still in the monthly supply. And then the rest of the story will be that we'll be looking for our shorts. Okay. So this is the best way I would say for you to pay attention to the price. Now, if I take another chart of gold and do a quick analysis here. So if I drag this here, so if I go over to the daily, the D1, at the moment, there isn't any signature for a reversal at the moment. We are at algorithmic level here. And to be fair, let me just zoom in here. So we are at a key algorithmic area here. And what we could end up happening today, which would be really good, is if the price, and I guess, let me just move this slightly lower. If the price of today for gold can take the high of the previous day, we do have daily supply, which is here. We are in daily supply. If the price could take the high of yesterday and give us that kind of signature, then that we can use that actually for a short. So currently, the market started over here and we've just had a descending short. If there is enough liquidity today and gold can actually give us this price action here, so I'm going to mark it out specifically, something like this, I would take an attempt on gold and I would be looking to take a short all the way down until, at least the 1935. Okay. But the requirement is that gold will need to take this high. Now we are in the US session, which is pretty slow right now. But anywhere between now until 10 o'clock UK time for us anyway, gold could do this movement. And if it does do so, that will put us in a great position. What I will do is I am going to set an alarm somewhere here. And I'll just be paying attention to see if gold actually does take this high, because that will be a great trade that we can get for a short. Okay, so I'm looking for entries somewhere in the range of 1974, and my stop loss will be about 1779 in this case. And if it can be tighter by like 10x, I'll go for the 1 minute time frame to find the exact entry. But something like this would be fantastic. So the options are still open, and this is what I'm looking for gold. And I'm hoping that the price action will lay itself out in that way. Going across to look at the other major pairs now, in a situation like this, when major pairs are moving pretty slow, I like to look at crosses to see what kind of opportunities are available. But my aim really is to go through the analysis just to give you a heads up, midweek heads up on what's going on. Okay, now Euro USD has been fantastic. You can see how many pips is produced. So has Pound USD, which, as you can see, is gone above the high of where this first move happened, and we're still pushing long. If you remember from my analysis, I do honestly see that Pound USD still has one more long to go, even though I know a short should be coming soon, and it will be. But my only issue is that, you know, in times like this where we are in critical, you know, times of fundamental situations or for themes in the market, in the world marketplace, and also volatility that comes with it, there's opportunity for the price to fill out unfulfilled efficiencies. And order blocks are places where supply and demand liquidity is derived from the number of orders and the level of liquidity in each order, and etc. Now, without going too much into teaching, when we look at price action here, if I observe this supply zone was created in May. Specifically, it was created the week starting from here, the 22nd of May, 2022. And since that time, price has used this for supply. And if you are involved in the markets or you've seen the price action of Pound USD, then you'll know that this specific wick here, this crash here that we had on gold, on Pound USD, not gold, okay, created a new all-time low. There was a previous all-time low, which is the lowest price point Pound USD has ever had in its history. And it was that was created in 1985. So when this crash happened in September, the price superseded that low. And since then, we've had a reversal very close to in 2022 to where the supply zone started from. And we had another situation like that at the beginning of February where the price came very close to this supply zone. But we've never actually had the price go into this area. Now, with the most recent price action that we've had, we had a very strong induction over here. Let me just bring this here. A very strong induction on the price here. And for that reason, I do expect the price to give us one more long into this area, which aligns up very nicely with the dollar index and what I expect. And from that point, we have about 200 pips left until we're fully inside of this area. Now, if price gets into this area and the dollar index, just to recap, is at the bottom of this range right here beneath the low, then I'll be very happy to look for a short trade that I can swing. So for now, I'm still bullish on Pound USD, Euro USD, and the rest. And I think from the analysis, you should be too. And even though what I said about AUD/USD and its weakness, there is still a room for it to go long. Don't get me wrong, there is. But you can see that even with NZD/USD, a lot of the Australasian, Oceania, as we'll call it, tier 1 economies, it seems that they're having a lot more weakness in their currency compared to the euros and the pounds and the US dollars, Canadian dollars situation. And you can see again, just like AUD/USD, NZD/USD is also ranging. Probably slightly looks a bit better, I guess, but nonetheless ranging. So for me, I would say to you guys that looking at major pairs right now, for USDX pairs, and maybe I can write this somewhere for you guys. Let me just write it here. So if I write this here so you can keep some notes. So for USDX pairs, we still have one more short left, okay? And the one more short is in tandem with the moment that price takes this low. Now, the thing is that I would like the price to take this weekly low immediately, but the volatility is still quite low. Maybe Thursday might change that and give us what we're looking for. If not, then, we're in a position where price is going to give us another week of shorting until it gets into this area, okay? Now, of course, there are many different options of how the price could do it. For example, this week, the price will come very close to the low, but not take the low. The next week, we start off with a reaction in the low and then we take off. price can come back one more time just to make sure everyone is stopped out, then it goes long. So there's a plethora of options there, but either way, we just want to make sure that we're prepared for whichever way. So if I go for XUSD pairs here, XUSD pairs have one more long, as I've described here. One more long left, okay? And this is as simple as it gets. So in terms of major pairs, this is what I'm looking at. And to be fair, even though I am looking at a few crosses, the cross pairs are not really my major focus. I'm focusing on the cross major pairs and, of course, focusing on gold for profitability. And really, that's the simplicity of it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to keep it short and quick. Make sure that you share with everyone you can. And I'll catch you guys later. Take care.